grip it and rip it, baby.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the Adventure Zone, Petals to the Metal, graphic novel, live internet adventure spectacular.
And clock it. That's 17 seconds for it to go off the rails. Excellent job.
Excellent. Woo! Well done, everyone.
Way to not get in your head, Griff. So proud.
Thank you all for joining us and for watching this. We have been doing, book tour stuff every year that we've done this book, and obviously that is not possible this year. And so we are doing this, and we're very, very excited. I'm Griffin, and joining me in order of how they're appearing on my screen is artist illustrator Carey Pietsch. Hi, Carey.
Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be virtually here.
Travis Magnus Burnside's McElroy.
Hi, I'm Travis.
Clint, who's caught in the Tron somewhere and is wearing not one, but I believe 2 shark tooth necklaces.
I was told there was cosplay.
Oh, it's beautiful, regardless.
No, okay. You were not told there was cosplay. Someone mentioned the word cosplay, and so you went to whatever store was nearby you and bought a shark tooth necklace.
Okay. And
two shark tooth necklaces.
2 shark. Please don't undercut how many shark tooth. Don't ever do that again. Justin's also here. Hi, Justin. Wait, my camera's reversed. He's on this side.
Roll to delight the audience.
And there's that.
20.
I say this stream is a critical hit.
All right. Fantastic. Well, we're 2 minutes into it, so it's maybe a little too soon to tell. Let us know how you think we're doing on Twitter. With the
We don't want your questions about the event. We just want to know how you think it's going.
Hey, look at that. Join the conversation on Twitter with TazGN, hashtag TazGN Live. If you don't put that hashtag in, it won't show up in our scanning heuristics. It's very important. If you have any questions, we're going to be doing several Q&As, I believe, with questions we pull off Twitter. So hit us up if you got questions about the book or making it, or actually, that's about it.
Yeah.
I guess just those two. It's a book event, so I guess mostly those things.
Let's focus on the book for now.
If there's
any time at the end, you can ask questions about like baking or woodworking or candy making or anything we know a little bit about. I also just want to say real quick, a big thank you to Read Pop and to The Strand, who have helped us organize this and do the signed copies of the book. If anybody ordered one of those, there's thanks to The Strand. We wouldn't be able to do this event without Read Pop and The Strand. And also saying Read Pop and The Strand sounds like kind of a weird funk band.
It does a little bit. We were informed before the show started that there are some shipping issues related to the global pandemic, and we were asked to read this. I don't want to screw up the information, which I've done several times already, so I'm just going to read it straight out. First, Second, and The Strand apologize for any delays in receiving the exclusive event purchase. Please bear with them as the pandemic has caused many shipping issues. They are getting these packages out to you as soon as possible. And there it is.
Wow.
That's all there is to say about it.
Well put.
Justin, do you have anything to add about like your part in the mess up, or like what you could have done better to?
I try to tell everybody, print them early. You can ask. I was even as early as January. I was like, I'm taking this very seriously, and y'all better print them early.
We had the podcast out. Like, people knew what was going to happen in the story.
Spoilers.
Start printing, and then we'll tell you what needs changed. As far as I understand, that's how that it can do it that way.
Yeah, we just print it and then we cut stuff.
Me, the person drawing it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some words that would need to be changed.
You really slacked off, Carey.
This one is on me.
You could have put in stick figures at first and then gone back with better drawings if you had time.
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting. We're going to talk about that later in the show, I think.
Yeah,
we are. Yes, we're going to be going over how Carey does the incredible work that she does. We're going to be talking about the editing process and how we adapt the podcast to the graphic novel format and the challenges that go into that. We have some Q&As, like I mentioned earlier, and we have some live readings with some exciting special guests coming up very soon. Quick language warning, because this is free and available for anybody to watch on the internet. We're gonna cuss like 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, there will be some wordy nerds. So
filthy.
So earphones.
So please don't tell your net nanny and get us banned, because this is all we have.
Ask Jeeves if you can keep watching the show.
Just have Jeeves cover your ears when a bad word comes. He knows when they're coming.
Yeah.
We'll do a big wind up to him. You'll hear us go, and you'll know one's coming.
Ooh. I feel like we've made cussing taboo in this environment in a way that we maybe never have for anything ever. Oh, we'll just do like Candle Nights rules, maybe.
There we go.
And stick with it that way.
I want to say we have a couple extra minutes here in the intro, and I want to say how much I love this book and how proud I am of it. And I see people like tweeting about it, and a lot of people, especially no spoilers, but tweeting about Sloane and Hurley stuff. And I'm so glad that is resonating well with people, and I'm glad that this book is making people happy. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has read it so far and has said nice things about it. And thanks, everybody.
I've dipped in to see some of the response to the book, and it is also making many people quite sad, which is not a complete failure on our part.
So we should have done 300 pages.
We could have gotten more tears and jokes and gotten more feelings out of them for sure. We're trending on Twitter. I'm not entirely sure how.
Oh my God, everybody! This is my dream. Please keep tweeting. Use the hashtag. Tweet about anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
I am very, very happy that this book is out. It's without going too much into like how we make the books. This one's been, how do you say, in the can for a little bit. What just happened, Justin?
My camera slid down, bud. Just keep going like nothing's weird.
And it's,
I love this because you only get this in this kind of live stream environment. Because if this was on stage, this would only happen.
I gotta go make a shim.
This would only happen if the floor underneath, like if the stage just
just
trap door just opened up.
It just became an amphitheater. The book's Justin shit all over it, but it's a good book. I'm really proud of it.
I didn't shit all over the book. It's a good book. This is the first one that's good.
Whoa, okay.
I don't mean that. I don't.
Statement.
I'm just saying, is where it gets good. My wife read the other ones, and she read the first 2, and she was like, these are really good. I was like, you don't even know. Those are bad. Those are the bad ones. Everybody agrees. You can skip the first one and just go right into the meat of the bone.
Let's go in order of the 5 of us and pick out who it's the biggest slam against what Justin just said. I think it goes Carey, because you've done the most work on the books. I think it's a slam on me for the 2 arcs of the actual podcast. Then I'll say Dad, Travis, and Justin. So Justin's getting out.
No, I think Dad does the adaptation. So I'm gonna say it hits him hardest.
Yeah, it hits Dad hard.
It has no effect on me and Justin.
I'm just saying that this one's got, as they say, emojis. And I love that. I love that it has a blend of comedy and sadness. And the only sadness I feel is when I think that somebody hasn't bought it yet and read it but mainly bought it. And boy, I could just
destroyed it so they don't loan it out to their friends.
That's true. It is genetically coded. When you buy it, the first person to touch it, only they can read it. So you can't share it with friends.
It's got book DRM and don't copy that floppy.
Buy it, burn it, buy another one.
Get that.
Yeah.
Look how white my beard looks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Carey, I have a question for you. This is kind of a technical question, but we were talking about that this book has made some people emotional. Did you use extra sad colors on this one? Is that what happened?
I'm so glad you asked. Yes, I opened up my Photoshop palettes and went to the one that went, these made me cry, and maybe they'll make some other people cry too, and used only those colors.
What do you think is the saddest color?
Blue.
I didn't ask you, Dad.
I mean, to be fair, I was going to say blue, but it depends on context. There's some good sad pinks in this one, I think.
Huh, okay.
If it seems like you're watching it like we're just totally pulling this out of our asses, the truth of the matter is we got time scheduled to talk about all the real things later, and we're all paranoid about talking about the real things before we're supposed to. We have pre-scheduled time to talk about everything going on in this book, and lots of guests and lots of fun activities and crafts. Look under your chair.
Puzzles, yeah.
Look under your chair. There's a puzzle and a craft.
If it would make you feel more comfortable, Justin, the five of us could just kind of sit in silence for the next 3 minutes, staring directly down the barrel of the camera.
I didn't want the people watching the stream to think Dad
has found a shell.
Kind of vamping. Dad found a shell.
I think the four of us can just dip and let Dad do some quick prop work. And
hey Dad, real quick, I would actually love to have a couple of minutes of a couple of seconds of ASMR. Just you like tapping the shell. We'll be quiet and you can just kind of.
That's not it.
Oh fuck, that stinks.
No, that's not it.
I don't like it. That isn't it.
It's bad Foley, Chief.
Well, Dad, I hated that, but we do need 2 more minutes of filler.
Let's move on.
No,
let's
keep scooting. Maybe we should. I'm looking at the chat now that our producers are managing. Are we okay?
Panicking.
Are we okay to start?
They said we're good.
Reading?
They said go for it.
Then let's go. Let's go. Let's do it. Live reading number 1. Let's get those.
We're gonna bring in our first.
Oh wait,
guest.
Carey, goodbye. But Carey will be back shortly for another great segment.
Bye, Carey.
Bye, everybody. See you in a bit.
We're gonna bring out our first 2 guests now.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you.
It's Janet Varney and Erica Ishii. You probably know them from being actual talented voice actors, as well as just actual talented actors. A ton of stuff.
You're crushing it, Trav. You're doing it. This is the slam dunk job.
Let's see.
I'm here for a moment and say that I was not informed that we were supposed to do cosplay.
Oh, thank you, Erica. Thank you.
Right. Clint, with the necklaces and everything. What? There's hats too?
He's a beach dwarf.
These are my headphones, actually. My other pair went bad. This is
I
have built in.
Cumbersome.
I have my flaming, raging, poisoning sword of doom.
Okay, let's all grab whatever detritus we have sort of laying around us.
Everyone get your hands on some Flotsam and Jetsam. Let's
see. Here's my pill caddy. Anybody want to see this?
That's actually a very good Griffin
It's prop. A good cosplay for me. It's my pill caddy. So
Here's my pill caddy.
Whoa, damn, Mike. Yours looks like what?
You're on drugs.
It looks like if you use like a pill stone on mine, it evolves into Dad's pill caddy.
Wait till you turn 65.
Hell yeah. It looks awesome.
The way things are going, it would be choice if Griffin made it to 65. That would actually be amazing.
So let's Erica, Janet, thank you so much for helping us out with this reading. We're going to do a few of these, and should we just hop right on in?
Let's do this. Griffin, do you want to set the scene for us?
Oh boy.
Yes, the scene. Well, the scene is here comes the scene. I'm looking at the scene. Oh, this is where our heroes have arrived in Gold Cliff and encounter Captain Bane before entering the Gold Cliff Trust, where they will seek out the Raven and stop her from doing a big robbery. Take it away. PowerPoint presentation.
Look, fellas, wagons. I love wagons. Let's go look at the wagons.
I'm sure we'll be too busy hunting down the master criminal to go on a joyride.
Extend the fantasy perimeter to the west side. I want some answers about those black and silver plants. And somebody get Sergeant Detective Strawberry out of the vines.
Ooh, daddy alert.
How do you know he has kids?
Oh, my sweet summer child. I'll explain back at base. Hail and well met, my dude. I'm Taco from TV, and these two errant youths I've taken under my wing. Are you Captain Bane?
Captain Bane, yes.
Is that your name or rank or?
Yes. Captain Bane, rank, captain, proficiency, militia management, pounding desks with his fists, demanding you turn in your badge and gun.
How pleasing.
I need to check your bona fides. Show me your arms.
Can you really not tell your arms apart?
They look exactly the same.
Foreshadowing.
The Raven is holed up inside the trust building. I assume stealing all the gold inside. Then there's a lot of gold inside.
I don't want to tell you how to do your job or anything, but why don't you just go in and arrest her?
Kind of tough to read someone their rights through a wall of sentient, murderous flora.
Leave that to me. Sorry, just every time Erica talks, it's cracking me up.
Gotcha!
Chop, whack, chop, hack.
So, Captain, may I call you Captain?
Chop,
I prefer Captain.
whack.
Cool. So, Cap, what's your honest opinion? Do you think we're a high enough level to handle this?
Hack.
Yeah, we're only 6. This many's.
Level 6.
Hack.
Level 6s who've seen a lot of shit. We've been around the block, if you know what I mean.
Chop.
Yeah, this ain't our first rodeo. It's more like our third.
You guys don't actually need to leave it all to me. I don't get it. Rail splitters should be able to slice and dice right through these plants.
Trees. It cuts down trees. These aren't trees. They're vines.
Let the professional through, Sonny.
Bam.
Oh, this is not going to be good.
This stuff is silver point. Very toxic, very dangerous. You can't just whack at it. You have to use a little finesse. Hey there. I just got here a few minutes ago, and I cannot take my eyes off your pistils and stamens.
Not fucking fair.
And that sweet, sweet pollen sac.
Taco's supposed to be laughing here, but it's not fucking fair that I have to endure this again, pumped into my headphones. I lived through this shit once.
60 feet away, and all I could think was, do not be chopping on this baby.
No.
We're going to have to name this arc 50 Shades of Green.
So I was thinking it would be really, really good if you would like
By all means, let's fucking hang in this moment. Let's live in it.
spread your vines. You know, just open up and let us walk in the door.
This is violence. This is a kind of violence.
You know what they say.
What do they say?
Go
They
on.
say once you've been cultivated by Merle, you've been cultivated for life.
Cultivated. Is cultivated a fancy word for scarred?
Nobody says that.
Must click faster.
Whap. Swamp.
Saucy.
Did anyone think to bring a big bottle of Roundup? All right, team. First thing, secure the scene. Then look for clues that might tell us where the Raven is.
You do that, Mags. I'm gonna see if there's any loot in those teller booths.
I'm going to see if I can find any of those pins on chains I can take.
Yes! Taco and Merle, rush in!
Wrestle.
Fellas?
Russell Creek.
You might want to watch where you're rushing.
Swamp Creek. Whoosh.
What in the whole hell is that thing?
Trent, Treant. Class, sentient. Proficiencies, all bark, some bite. All bark, some bite. Harkens back to his roots, trying to branch out.
I believe that is Trent the Treant, a sentient tree-like monster.
That's a thing?
Plants can be people too, Taco.
Wait a second. Did you say tree? It's about time!
Rail splitter, enchanted axe, stats, +1 to attack and damage. Bonus, can fell any tree once daily.
I wonder what's going to happen.
Check.
Hey, wait a second. Why is he not dead? Rail Splitter can fell any tree?
Technically, he's not a tree. He's a tree-like monster.
Boo.
I'm super worried I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Not bad.
Lean in.
Merle, if you will, translation, please.
Certainly. He says he's going to aggressively retaliate against you and, in the process, attempt to cause you grievous bodily harm.
So, maybe, since you can talk to it, we might try a little diplomacy instead of just random hacking and slashing.
Yeah, I could do that. Hey, Trent, buddy!
Body nothing. That guy just chopped my entire butt off. The whole thing. Should I lean in?
Look, I'm not really with them.
I'm like 30 minutes old. I'm a baby, man. And he just chopped off my butt. It's right there on the ground. I'm looking at it.
Listen, I have these nifty nature powers. I can heal you.
You're barking up the wrong tree, butt chopper.
Come on. We have to stop this silly conflict and just be buds. Buds.
Crack-oom! The bird lady who grew me out of the ground told me not to let anybody upstairs. Scritch, scritch. I feel an obligation to her for, giving me life and everything. So if you'll fix me, I'll just kill your friends and, maim you.
What's the next option after diplomacy?
Pruning.
Yes. Whoosh.
Blast of fire. Kind of self-explanatory, don't you think?
He was just a baby.
A baby that the Raven put here to kill us.
There's a set of footprints from the entrance to the fountain and then to those doors over there. I gotta say, for a freebie, this I Spy is kind of cool.
That bell means you've actually remembered to use one of your items. It's an Adventure Zone first.
Shh.
Oh, great. Another elevator.
I'm guessing we hit the V button? Like V for Vault?
Or maybe villain. That'd be convenient.
Ordinarily, I do my great hit all the elevator buttons goof, but I'm honestly feeling a little creeped out.
Yeah, my viney sense is tingling. Are those vines moving?
Smash shingle. Grab. Bump.
Oof.
You guys want? Maybe I should try sex talking it again.
No.
Okay. All right.
Slam.
You probably could have just gently pushed it to one side. Do you have to phantom fist everything?
Yup.
Magic rope allows user to magically affix rope to some point.
But what's it attached to?
As an extra dimensional anchor thing. I don't have to understand the spells. I just cast them.
Creep. Snap.
Not quite out of the weeds yet, fellas.
Hang on.
Initiative for climbing.
There's no such thing.
Oh, hey, watch the moneymaker.
Sorry.
Slip. But.
We should have warned people at the top of the stream about that there would be also just an ass. Sorry.
Slide.
Well, fuck me.
Whoosh. Boom. Flick.
So we're a duo now?
Looks like it.
Boom. Whoosh. Crish. Point.
Shuffle jump creates a portal to another reality.
Grab.
Phew.
Where the hell did you go?
I don't know, but I'm never going there again. Can we talk about it when we're not being chased by giant weeds?
Any suggestions?
Let's think about this. What do we normally do in these situations? Oh, I know.
Whammed.
We leave it up to the magic guy. V for vault. I called it.
The three of you are not welcome. You should not be here.
The Raven, race, half-elf, class, criminal, proficiencies, misdemeanors, felonies, reluctant mayhem.
V for villain. We're 2 for 2.
We're looking for someone named the Raven, and she's got a raven mask. So either she's in cosplay or...
We're crushing it.
I can make the vines pull back and give you an exit from the building. I don't know who you are, but you need to leave now.
So you can just rob the place? There's got to be a less apocalyptic way to make a buck in this town.
No, it's not about the money, dwarf. I'm beyond that now. I have become unto a god.
Listen, Raven, we've seen this before. The last time one of these items was in the hands of someone...
There's nothing like this belt anywhere in the world.
There was a gauntlet. It leveled an entire city. Thousands of people died because its wielder didn't listen to us.
The power is completely under my control.
It's wicked not. You literally just shouted, I have become unto a god 9 seconds ago.
This power is part of me now. I couldn't give it up if I wanted to. This building is coming down with or without you inside it, so you need to go now.
We tried. Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way.
Sleep.
Vash.
Okay, well, ignore that. I was practicing for my acting class.
Very method.
I just want to state that Magnus's attacks against her will all be non-lethal. So far, she has made no move against us. Raven, I'm all about justice, so I'll try not to hurt you too bad.
Smash!
I so saw that coming. How about you, Merle? Merle? Little man?
I gave you fair warning. Snap. Whoosh.
Okay, that's it. You've just been upgraded to semi-lethal.
Whoosh. Stumble, tumble. Ka-chunk. Grab.
I've got you right where I want you.
Pity. All that bravado and you weren't even a challenge for me.
Sloan, no!
Fresh. Dunk.
This is not you, Sloan. You're not a killer.
Hurley, you don't understand. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Go ahead, run away. We win.
The end.
The end
of the book. That's how the book ends. It's not a very good ending, like if I'm being honest, because it leaves a lot of threads sort of like dangling. Like, who was that masked woman? Next book, I guess we'll get around to it. Janet and Erica, thank you so much for helping us out with that. Would you like to tell people where they can find you and the things that you make and do?
Erica?
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
We're wonderful, aren't we? We're just wonderful.
Janet, would you like to say first?
You can find me on Twitter at Janet Varney and on Instagram at the JV Club, and that's where I'll put stuff I'm doing. Erica?
And that podcast, by the way, the JV Club is very good.
It's fantastic.
It's wonderful. I've been on an episode, so like...
So that's what makes it good?
That's one of the podcasts that Travis has appeared on.
Saying.
So that's a huge,
yeah.
It's a huge get.
Impossible to find that guy, Travis B. McElroy.
Erica?
Hi, I'm Erica Ishii. You can find me on Twitter at Erica Ishii or on Instagram at the Erica Ishii. I do voices for video games. I occasionally stream for charity things. Travis and I just did a recent one that benefited Black Lives Matter, I Need Diverse Games, the Actors Fund, Feeding America. Yeah, it was so good to be here. Thanks so much, you guys.
Yeah, y'all crushed it. Thank you so much. And I think the screen is about to change.
Thank you.
Whoa. We're gonna be banished.
Whoa. Goodbye, I love you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
It's like they're still here.
Can we wait for it? We're going to come back here in just a second. There's going to be
Carey's going to be back.
Change.
Aww.
Everyone's in.
Okay.
I've missed
Carey.
Yes.
Everybody, welcome Carey back, and
we've got a new face.
We have a new face, the fresh face of this stream. It's Allison Wilgus. Hi, Allison.
Hello. My face is very red from laughing at all of you.
Oh, that's
Thank
very
you.
nice.
I hope you mean with.
I was
Weird,
unprepared for Arnold Trent. That was extremely
That
good.
was very good.
Now, you all know our and Carey's participation in this graphic novel, but our secret weapon, our ace in the hole, Allison Wilgus, the right dad. I don't know if the orientation is the same for everybody, but yes, if Allison is directly below dad, I am indicating Allison Wilgus, who's our editor on this book, and who I think may know this story and better than we do. If that's like, I think possibly she's
no contest.
The one we go to. Like, does this make sense for something that hasn't happened in 5 years, Allison?
I'm sorry, I'm deeply cursed to remember all of this bullshit.
It's a sick curse. I wish I had that curse. It would make this process
The
a
secret
lot
is
easier.
we all remember slightly different bullshit. That's our actual superpower.
That is true. Griffin knows a lot about Pokemon.
True. Allison, you have joined us. We're going to talk a little bit about the process of making this book and making sure that it is good.
Yes.
And I think you're gonna lead the discussion on this, so please take it away.
Leave you from your MC duties for a moment. Yeah. So hello. We are going to do a process talk. I mean, if you have been to a comic convention, usually these are a lot about drawing the book and pencils and inks and whatever, but this one's actually going to be a little bit more about the collaborative process because we are all here, so it seemed appropriate. So we're going to do kind of a whirlwind tour of how we all work together on these books. So let's start with it. We're going to start with the magic of revisions. I don't mean that sarcastically. Oh, there we go. Part 1, magic of revisions. Carey, would you like to do a little intro for us and what we're going to talk about this first part?
I would love to. Yeah, so I don't want to read the whole section, but the gist of it is this is a scene where the main trio are with Hurley at the medical center, and they're trying to talk her into elaborating a little bit more on what her connection is to Sloane. And in the early version, the way it was thumbnailed, the way it was scripted was the way it originally was on the podcast, which is Merle casts Zone of Truth to kind of get her into the explanatory part of it. Then we get the first of several backstory flashbacks. You can appreciate Hurley's tiny ponytail, which I think is fantastic. And then she agrees to talk to them a little bit more. You can see that it gets visually pretty dense. A bunch of those pages have 7 or 8 panels on them. We are working with a pretty tight page budget, which is limited by what I can physically draw in a calendar year that I'm constantly trying to stay under at the thumbnail stage. But I also do keep a list of if we have room and time, and depending on what we talk about through revisions as wanting to prioritize later on in the book, maybe I'll come back and split these pages up later on. So once I've done those thumbnails, I kick them back off to the 5 of you, and we have our first big round of notes.
Yeah, so this was an interesting one. I don't remember if you remember the big note that we had on this sequence, y'all. This is actually, I think,
sure.
This note.
Justin made an incredibly good point on this one.
Yeah, and I don't remember how much of this is early, is actually sourced directly from the podcast. I don't remember, probably all of it, but
I think it is. I mean, this is building on the pattern of Merle using Zone of Truth as a blunt instrument for like every imaginable scenario. So I think
I think using Zone of Truth to get these things, it works in the gameplay aspect of it, right?
That's why the spell exists in the
right. But yeah, in this exact scenario, as I was reading through it, I realized like, hey, Hurley is being withholding about her relationship, and by using Zone of Truth and like they want to know the real story, right? And by using Zone of Truth in besides just forcing her to reveal personal details she doesn't want to, they're using magic to out her. Which seemed like essentially like it's a weird vibe, and it's like
it felt bad.
Emotionally manipulative also to just be like, tell us everything about something that is none of our business, but we're going to use magic to force you to tell us. So that was one that we had to revisit.
It's also that she's not Hurley is not set dressing in a way that like a Graham the Juicy Wizard is.
Right.
Like you drop a Zone of Truth on Graham the Juicy Wizard, that's like, yeah, you needed to get information out of him or whatever. But like Hurley becomes such a like capital F friend by the end of this book that it is like it is a weird way to start the relationship off with all of you, is to, hypnotize her essentially.
So after we got this note, most of the time when we're doing revisions, a lot of the stuff gets resolved like literally in Google Doc or Dropbox comments, and we kind of hash it out. But then we usually have a handful of things that we're like, this is too complicated to resolve in Dropbox comments. And this was one of them. So we all got on the phone for our we usually do like one phone call per like chunk of thumbnails to kind of talk this one through. And Again, I actually went and looked up my notes from the phone call, and we came up with some really good solutions to this. But the big thing is we both wanted to fix this moment with Hurley, but we also wanted to keep the Zone of Truth joke because it's funny.
Yeah.
And it is the only spell Merle knows.
He does some actual healing later in this book. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And Travis pointed out that also we were sort of skipping this great moment early in the book to give, like, Magnus sort of starts to form this connection with her, that maybe we could go a little bit deeper into that and have like an actual human moment early in this book, since their friendship is such a huge part of this book. So then here we are in the second version of this. It's a little cleaner. You can also see that Carey's kind of gone through this a little bit. Carey, do you want to talk about how you sort of tackled our notes from the call here?
Yeah, sure. So on this first page, you can see that the overall rhythm of the page is the same. This is a change at the panel level and not the page level. So the content of the final 2 panels is shifted, but the main visual beats are all identical. The last 2 are just framed slightly differently, which you can see if you look at thumbs and pencils at the same time to make room for Magnus kind of having a moment of realization to cut Merle off at the end of this particular page. The next page is also just a panel level shift. That first panel that was originally Zone of Truth and Thumbs got broken up into 2 new ones, which we can again see in the fancy thumbnail pencil comparison Ali put together. So the main visual beats are the same. It's just split into this slightly different scenario where instead Magnus is taking a moment to actually be open and honest with Hurley.
I did just see for the first time, and like it's not in the book, right? Because we completely changed this moment. But Hurley looking up at the bubble is kind of hysterically funny.
I do miss that. I am going to now show it to you as just
it's really good.
And this was handy because taking out the Zone of Truth moment also left room on this page to put this other dialogue in, so you didn't have to move everything.
Yeah, oh my god, we try to avoid that. Again, I can't overemphasize how lazy I am and how much we want to try
Carey.
to avoid.
Yes, when I think of Carey Pietsch, but one word pops into my head.
Maybe efficient. Maybe efficient is a better way to frame the process. So let's go with that. So on this next page, again, there's actually no new artwork on the second page, which is the only one that's changed. But what did happen is that we have more space allotted to the artwork that's already there. So we're able to do this kind of because we worked backwards from the end of the sequence. We knew we wanted Merle to grok the Zone of Truth joke, not tooth joke, at the very last minute. So to fit that in, we had to add a page. And due to comics math, I had to kind of shift things around, which gave us more room to let this particular moment breathe a little. I think it's pretty cool how much this changes the feeling of this particular page. It's kind of a little bit of comics magic in that all of the artwork is identical, albeit a little bit cleaner, but literally adding some buffer room around the characters talking in the panels kind of creates this sense of openness that, again, really nicely parallels like the tone that I think the whole team was going for in terms of like kind of keeping their relationship with Hurley a little bit more honest and friendly. So it's cool. Comics are good.
Comics are good. I agree.
This is the first like flashback sequence, right? The first like extended flashback where we see, like the idea of that happening as the result of a hypnosis spell, like the idea that Hurley would tell that story and we would like see that story through the lens of like going against her will is like such a wild, like looking back on it, it's like such a wild way for that to play out. Like it seems like such a I mean it's gross, I think, as Justin pointed out, but it also is kind of an unforced error from a like character dynamics, like character building perspective.
And also, I mean, I think it's also reflective of like the way that the process ends up working. It's like all of these different steps, right? Where sometimes you're looking at like a script, you're just looking at words and be like, that's what happened, right? Yeah, totally cool, great. And then we get to the thumbnails and you see like faces and like you see literally someone like saying it, the words coming out of their mouth. And at that point you're like, oh, this bumps. Oh, now seeing like a face, seeing eyes as they react to this thing this person said, now it bumps. This is...
And I think we kind of realized early on too that we were going to have to use flashbacks in this book, to tell so much of Hurley and Sloane's stories, and so it was kind of like you said, it was a wonderful solution to what seemed like a small problem, but then became kind of a major storytelling element in this book.
And it also had the bonus thing of not only did we find a really, I think the Zone of Truth joke is funnier after the delay because it's only a couple of pages. And then we also, I think this is a better end of the scene. So it's kind of one of those win-win-win kinds of things. Mm-hmm. So, all right, Morgan is letting me know that we're a little tight on time. So we're going to zoom a little bit here.
Whoa!
I know. We're going to zoom through the pages here just to see what they look like in color. And we wanted to take a moment to point out that Tess Stone, the letterer for this book, really always sells these kinds of spells here.
Magnificent.
So the really quickly, part two, Carey frequently, she lets us know that she's on a tight schedule. We try to minimize how much we're giving her big revisions to do, but sometimes, unfortunately, Carey decides to make her own life harder. So for instance here, you want to just real quick walk us through this?
Yeah, sure. We can speed through. The part that I really want to do is the layouts part at the end, because that is the stick figures that Justin alluded to later. But
okay.
Very briefly, this is really like the kind of bed that I made for myself of waiting until the very last minute to make fixes. And I think through the course of having conversations about what we're trying to prioritize over thumbs and pencils and inks, sometimes I get all the way to the inks and realize like, okay, what actually needs to be the focus here isn't Taco's face, but is this big dramatic moment of the octo wagon showing up, and you can kind of still get a sense of that blasé emotion just through the framing of the panel alone. So had to redraw it. I think the final is better. Please don't tell me if you disagree, because it's too late and the book is printed.
It's printed.
Yeah. And then talking very quickly about the other thing I was referring to with this ongoing list of pages I might want to split up. There are a couple of instances where, often due to my own fault, due to trying to condense pages and thumbnails, it takes me a while to realize that pages would really do much better broken up into larger parts. So this 2-page sequence ended up as 4 pages in the finals. I think this first one, splitting it up, really lets it be 2 distinct emotional sentences. So this first page is much more now just about this large scale escalating feeling of like the actual battle wagon race, and the second page gets to focus just on the interiority of the characters, which is great. And the second sequence, we got a note back in thumbs, I think, that the action was a little unclear. You can tell that I knew this because I'm using this green color to try to fake around the fact that the drawing was not yet clear. And what this page actually needed was to get, again, split in half, so the first page could have some juicy emotional drama, and the second page could actually let you know what was happening with the vines breaking out of the ground to stop the ram wagon.
I'm very sorry you had to draw more comics, but it also is extremely cool in this
way
way.
better. Yeah.
Very good.
Very glad.
Also, that's great because she does this without telling us, so then we just get the updates. We're like, oh man, this is extremely cool.
And can I just say, I am an absolute sucker for this, like when the background behind the panels is like a full page, like
picture. Full bleed is good.
So, I love it so much.
All right, I want to see outlines.
All right, so we did not show this to the guys ahead of time, so we're gonna do speed round. You get to all right. Sometimes you just nail it stick figure stage. This is a thing for adults. So these are the shit post drawings that we're gonna show you now.
Oh boy.
You might recognize this one.
So this is what I draw for myself and literally never show to anyone. It is just like the barest bones outline. But
it's
the feeling,
so good.
I think the feeling still comes through.
Vibe there. The vibe carries.
Yeah.
This one's pretty good. Here we go. You can tell Taco because of the ears usually.
Yeah,
that's
and
the
the enormous hat.
Carey, I have every time I look at one of these books, I think to myself, there's absolutely no way I could do what Carey does. And this is the first time I'm looking at them and thinking, maybe
these are hard.
Do you just do them over and over again until they're good? Is this the whole bit?
Yep, that's all drawing is.
I've
now,
like this
there's a lot. Okay, this first panel there. There's a lot going on here, Carey, and I cannot figure out what exactly is being. Okay.
Yeah. It looks like a kind of some sort of 3-headed eyeball thing, maybe. And then
it's new. This is my pitch for a new D&D monster. I actually like the taco face in layouts better than in finals, but we'll get it next time.
And also, I like Merle the super disassociating, like that last one. Here we go.
Oh, wait a minute.
That's very good.
Is that post-murder, I think?
Yeah, they just dumped a man. Spoilers. I really want to point out the Ganesh on the right-hand side here. Spoilers for the second reading here. I kind of want to make that my Twitter icon, admittedly.
It's good. It's a good drawing.
It's very good.
Air quotes. It's air quotes.
This is cheating because I couldn't remember what the drawing was, so I had to write down what she was talking about to remind me.
Oh man, that's so good.
It's really good. This is a feelingsy one, and yet still very sweet. Aw, it's cute.
All the pieces are there.
And then sometimes it just
Charlie Brown is so mad.
It's so good.
So thanks so much for having you all here to talk about comics, my favorite thing in the entire world.
Thank you for joining us, and Allie, seriously, thank you for everything you do for these books. We cannot debate how much the books are what they are because of what Allie does.
You are a genius.
You're not allowed to make me cry on a live stream, you assholes.
Yes, we are.
Allie, do you want to plug any other work you got going on? Any other?
Oh my God! Don't do this to me.
When's your single drop, Allie?
My friend Wyatt Yates and I just had a book called The Mars Challenge come out that is about
which is really good.
Thanks, Clint. It's about the future of human spaceflight. It's nonfiction. It's really nerdy. So for Wyatt's sake, if not my own, go check out The Mars Challenge. It's very good because he did a good job. Whatever with me. You all are wonderful. Have a wonderful time for the rest of the evening. You did. You made a good book.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to do a very quick. We are running over time. We are going to do a quick Twitter Q&A.
Just remember how much we bullshit at the beginning.
I know. Yes, I think it's
bullshit.
There were some extremely pregnant pauses in the first reading. I think we're catching up. So, do you all have the list of questions from Twitter? Or do you want me to kind of just let's bounce around and let's just move at rain pace, maybe?
I've got one right here. Quick one.
Go.
From Kira. For Carey, which character design was your favorite to draw?
Ooh, I have to give a cheating answer, which is every character design has to be my favorite character while I'm drawing it, or else I literally won't be able to pay attention to it well enough to give it the work that it deserves to look good. So either you kind of have to find something to latch onto, whether it's, I'm really excited to draw like Marvy's shark teeth or like this big billowy jacket or like the way somebody is conveying an action. So I try really hard to make everybody my favorite while I'm drawing them.
Shark Marvy was like entirely Carey. Like it took on like a mind of its own. And it was like once I think you told us like she drives a shark tank. Like what if she was a shark woman? And we were like, what? And then like as soon as we saw the thumbnails, we're like, oh yeah, that rips ass. That's cool.
I'm very glad we all came around on the teeth in particular.
How about this one from Hunter? How has your experience with each arc changed as you've adapted it for a completely different medium? And have you learned anything or been surprised by anything about them? I think that most of like the stuff I feel like that I have been surprised by is like the later on stuff that I didn't know at this point in the campaign. Most of that I think you see sort of reflected through the Lucretia lens, and so like there's a lot of character moments with Lucretia that are like fully not from the show, but that is the exact kind of thing that Allie I feel like catches, where it's like, hey, Lucretia would notice this and it would be like wild for her to not say anything or do anything. I feel like that's like my biggest thing that I did not sort of realize from just doing the podcast.
This is gonna sound like I'm making a joke, but I've been surprised just how much chaff there is in the wheat and chaff process. I'm just like, oh, that was a fun thing, but like that was just like a lot of it is like for example, like picking out things where it's like, okay, that was a really fun moment to play, but did it really have that much to do with the story? Is that something that we need to like spend 20 pages on, or can we like cut it? And I honestly think another reason now that Allie's not here, we can say how great she is even more. But another thing that I think really helps is I'm the like complete opposite of Precious with a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, just cut it. Oh yeah, we don't need that scene, just cut that. And Allie's like, whoa, hold on. If we cut that scene, then this person doesn't make sense, or they're not in the book. It's like, all right, whatever, it's fine.
I have a question here from Alexis, and it says, what is the it is being the question, not Alexis, the human. Alexis says, what is your favorite part of the writing process? And I wanted to answer this real quick because I am terrible about the big picture stuff on these books. It is well known at this point that like I can barely hold this story in my head. When we were doing the podcast, I don't have a lot of awareness of what happens in the story because I was so completely focused on just my character and how he would react to the different parts of it. So I find actually outlining these and writing the initial drafts incredibly difficult, which is why I'm glad that I make my daddy do the hard work of writing the comic book. And then make Carey do the hard work of drawing the comic book. And then my favorite part is I swoop in when it's almost too late and be like, I have a few thoughts. I have a few, because it's almost like at that, even if we did help with the outline process early, it's almost like at that point somebody else did it, right? Like it's like somebody. Carey, and I wonder if Carey can identify with this because I don't know your process as well. But like, I really like going back to old scripts where we can just be like, I would love to punch this up. There's a lot of this that's bad. Yeah. Whoever wrote this is an absolute hack. And it's like, oh, it was you 3 months ago, Justin, a much less refined version of your current self.
We're almost out of time for this first segment. We're going to do more Twitter Q&A later, but let's just lightning round. Here's one I can answer in like one sentence. Caitlin said, for Griffin, where do you pull your ideas for your D&D campaigns? During Balance, it was all movies like that I was getting into at the time, or movie franchises. This one I've said over and over again is just Fast and Furious, with a little bit of Mad Max because it came out the same year that this book came out, or this podcast came out. The book just came out like this week.
And then Courtney asks, what are some things you've all learned from the last 3 books that have helped or will help enhance the process of adapting and creating future Taz graphic novels? I think the big key has been more extensive outline, going into a much more detailed look in the outlines. I can tell you right now that as the silly quantity kind of comes down and the mythology quantity goes up, we have, I at least have found that the outline is kind of the key to that. So I think we put a whole lot of work into the outline.
That's Dad's clever way of saying the ones after this are fucking hard.
Yeah, dude.
They're really hard to do.
Man, do you remember that one where we were just on a train?
Remember when the whole thing was on a train and the most complicated thing is whether or not people were on or off the train? Remember the train?
That's about as difficult as the one where somebody goes in on like a 15-minute monologue about the entire cosmology of all existence. It's about the same thing.
It's like they have a whiteboard and they're like, imagine a train. Okay, so the cosmos are like a train, and each plane is
a. Carey, a couple people wanted to ask what you watch and listen to while you draw.
My brain can only focus on one thing at a time. So for the most part, it is a really a lot of the same thing on repeat until we get to colors. While I was coloring, I think I listened to half of the Master and Commander audiobook series this time, which is Ingo's and Kazu's fault. But I do, when things get really difficult and I really have to focus, I play a single song on loop while I'm inking hard pages. And for this one, it was a lot of Tracy Chapman's Fast Car, which felt fitting.
You are shitting me.
Absolutely not.
No one's going to say anything better for the rest of the whole stream.
I'm so mad that we're not doing this show in front of a live audience because people will be rending their clothes and falling on the ground, their faces melting off. It's the best thing I've ever heard.
Let's see.
Now we're going to be #1 trending. Just people talking about Fast Car.
Well, we've lost Dad.
Dad's gone.
It's fine. We will keep working through this. We have time for maybe one last question. I mean, this one we should maybe save for the second chunk, but I'm panicking. Amanda asks if we have plans for turning the other arcs into graphic novels, to which I would say to just flip to the end of this book where we do announce that we're doing Crystal Kingdom.
We are so far already into it. That's the truth.
That's a little. Let's peek behind the curtain. We do not make these in a year.
It's that book we've read it and it looks pretty fucking cool.
It's pretty good.
I goofed about the complete cosmology of all existence, but that sequence is fucking fire. So it's pretty good stuff.
Dad turned out the lights. He got a little sexy in his window.
Played a little Barry White. Yeah.
All right. Okay, we are at time for the first Twitter Q&A. And we are going to do another live read here in just a second, which I believe Carey is going to hop off for momentarily again. But Carey, thank you.
Thanks,
and
Carey,
thank you for everything, Carey.
Let's leap.
Thank you. Oh no, I'm still.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Oh boy,
that's us.
Except Carey just left.
This is us.
Carey did just leave.
You guys ever watch This Is Us? I hear a lot of stuff about
do
it.
you guys feel so stupid we didn't build bathroom breaks into? Oh my God, it's Brandon around the fish today.
Hi.
Talk about bathroom breaks. How embarrassing.
We were just discussing our bodily functions. Thank you both for joining us and helping us out with this live read. It's wild to have you both here.
Thank you. And I just did take a bathroom break, so I'm good to go.
Oh,
Dang, you couldn't have offered to take one for me, Brandon? Sheesh.
I went number one
From here,
earlier.
I'd say that's physically impossible.
Dang it, right.
Depends on your aim.
Oh, weird. Oh, weird. Okay, great.
All right.
It's all a weird start. All right.
Hi, everybody. By the way.
Hi, Brandon.
Brandon, we were talking
See
about
you all.
pee.
So we're going to do another reading, and Brandon and Felicia are going to help us out. This one, to set it up, is they have befriended Hurley and are going to help her enter this battle wagon race. But first, she needs a specific component from a rival race team in Gold Cliff. This is that sequence, and it delights me. Let's go.
There are no rules limiting to propulsion systems in battle wagons, and mine requires what's called an arcane core. It powers the wagon's engines and other special features. As it just so happens, a battle wagon team called the Hammerheads just received a shipment containing an arcane core. They're a brutal bunch. They'd almost certainly use it to create something too dangerous, too lethal to be on the track. But if that core, say, went missing...
Wow, that'd be a crazy coincidence.
Now, it'd be unethical for a militia officer to do anything, but...
But what?
She wants us to steal it.
Listen, we need that part, but I won't abide by any killing on this mission. Seriously, non-lethal parameters only. Promise me.
We
promise.
Flash.
Justin.
So, something else we're bad at. Not killing people.
To be fair, we did ask the guy to unlock the security gate and let us in.
And he was very aggressive in his refusal.
And very demeaning.
And how was I supposed to know that he was allergic to axe chopping?
An honest mistake.
We're not going to have time to search all this.
I have a spell called Clair Vision. I can manifest a third eye and see inside closed buildings.
That sounds made up.
Woo!
I hate it.
Okay. Building one is just a bunch of battle wagons and some very inappropriate calendars. Here we go. Building number 2, some hammerheads sitting around playing cards and a great big chest.
Whoosh. Kuzunk.
Sleepy time. Powerful attempt to put a target to sleep.
I'll be honest, I only half expected that to actually work. So, we've already broken our promise. Should we go ahead and kill him?
I don't want to lug him all the way back to the tossing cliff.
Parts! Unless the arcane core looks like a fantasy Snickers wrapper, this is a bust. Unless...
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Go
grease lightning,
you're
burn
burning
up
up
a
a
quarter
mile.
mile.
Grease lightning,
go
grease lightning,
Go
grease
lightning,
lightning,
Some grease lightning, something dashboard, something shocks.
Shocks. Grease lightning.
Hey guys, these are some new recruits. Just showing them around the place. Go about your business.
And you would be? Marvy, race human, class thug, proficiency thuggery, muggery, skullduggery.
Jerry from the New Elfington chapter. We're brand new. I asked around, who's the best? We want to learn from them. Everybody said they're doing good stuff in Gold Cliff.
Yeah, whatever.
Careful with the head. Got some sensitive hardware up there that the boss wants to look at.
Sorry, boss.
What the hell?
Easy. I'm sure the guys will let you have a turn later.
Right. Sure. I see you've got your suspension connected counterclockwise. You know, if you do that in a clockwise motion so that each one is interacting with the other independently, you're going to get much better handling.
You should listen to him. He's got fantastic vehicle proficiencies, which are paying off literally for the first time ever in this exact moment.
I don't understand how something can be counterclockwise and clockwise in the same orientation.
Oh, you need to put a second set of gears so each one is moving independently instead of one driving force working on both of them at the same time.
Double gears. Why did we think of that?
See? What I tell you,
the Lord.
Genius. You ought to show him the arcane core and see what he can do with that. I'm so sad that we can't like pan the camera back to Hammerhead 4 and just follow them around in everyday life.
Man.
So, what's with the guy in the helmet?
I guess you could say he's a bit of a reluctant recruit. We have a vacancy thanks to the Raven taking out one of our guys in the last race. We found this guy stumbling around the desert and thought he could be real useful settling the score with Raven in the next race. He's just been kind of hard to convince.
Hey, I know that roar. That's our hug bear. They've been hitting our hug bear right in front of us.
Yeah, that's not going to work for me. You squished.
Jesus.
Not killing is really hard. How does Batman do it?
Lack of follow through?
You know what? I'm starting to think you guys aren't from New Elfington Chapter after all. Crowbar. It's a crowbar. Another crowbar. It's also a crowbar. I don't know what you want with these, but sure, go for it.
Smash!
Ganesh, race bugbear, profession, former crime boss, proficiencies dismembering, tea-steeping, not into bondage.
Oh, shit! Where the hell do you think you're going, Leonard? Get back here!
I don't mean to shock you. I was gonna say shock you. Sorry, I fucked the timing up.
Should we, kill Leonard?
Merle! Kill bad. No kill good.
Legitimate business. He's gonna get revenge for this heinous act.
Wrong character! Please let me go. You guys can have whatever you want.
Let me talk to this fool for a second. Hey, where's the arcane core?
It's in a chest behind Marvy's desk on top of a toolbox.
Is it locked?
Yeah.
Where's the key?
Marvy's got it. She keeps it on her at all times.
Oh, great. Pretty sure she threw up all over the place when I shocked her. What a cool day I'm having.
Hey, Ganesh, you remember us? You're our buddy.
Stand back, or I swear I'll kill him. Do you have any idea what a rough few months I've had?
I can imagine it's pretty bad, but we're here to help, which we can't do if you kill that man. Let him go, and I'll get you chamomile. Is that your jam?
Oolong. Chamomile is for posers.
Buckets of oolong, then. Piping hot.
No deal. Listen to me. If I ever see you again, I swear, it's gonna be super bad for you.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to do worse than you'll have to do worse than barf keys.
Told you we should have killed Leonard.
Yay!
Yay!
Hooray!
I was really worried we were underusing Brandon, and then
Oh, he really came to the forefront there.
There were a lot of delightful performances at that time. Brandon, Felicia, thank you all so much for doing this. That was
Thank you. You're
an
welcome.
absolute delight.
All the best, right?
What's that?
All the best, everyone. Stay safe and healthy.
Yes, too. If you guys want, if you want to share where people can find your stuff, your online presence, since that's the only presence we all currently have at the moment.
I am only virtual at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Brandon J. Ralph on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm Felicia Day on Twitter, Twitch, which I've been doing a lot of, and Instagram. Come on by.
Cool. Well, thank you both. Bye. I think we are going to take a very quick break before, if I'm reading the rundown correctly.
Yes.
Before we hop to another Twitter Q&A, before we have a few final things. So stick with us. We will be back in like 3 minutes, and we will see you then. And I'm just going to remind my family right now to mute your mics so we don't accidentally hear the distant sound of your pee splash hitting the toilet bottle. We'll be right back. We didn't just pee. Why would you even say that?
What?
What a weird thing. I saw people on Twitter like they're peeing, and it's like, that's my private bathroom business. Like, why would you even say that?
It was like trending on Twitter. Griffin is peeing,
and I don't like that. And Carey, thank you for coming back. Even after all the bathroom talk, even to this energy. And they put up the hashtag right as I was talking about people on Twitter talking about my bathroom usage, as if to say, like, here's where you can contribute to that scandal and those rumors. We're gonna do some more Twitter questions. And
I got one right here.
Yeah,
I got one right here. I'm gonna say KCL asks, what are some moments or scenes you guys appreciate more now that they have been visually adapted? And I mean, there are ones in each book. The two that spring to mind, though. Okay, so the one that springs to mind because it's like cool, is like basically everything in the battle wagon race is like was heightened by like seeing it done. The action of it's great. But the one in Murder on the Rockport Limited of Magnus kind of rappelling down the side of a train just really clarified for me how stupid that thing I did in the show really was.
All the like spatially abstract moments from the podcast, that's just like we were banking on you just believing that the shit we were saying could possibly happen in some sort of physical space. Seeing that visually rendered for the first time is very very satisfying.
I also think the train crashing into the garden at the end of Rockport.
That was fun to draw.
That was, for someone who didn't want to draw trains. By the way, Carey, is there anything else you don't want to draw so we can make sure to put it in future books?
I think that was actually the worst thing we've ever done to Carey. Is we like literally said like the train crashing into Jenkins's garden would work way better as a 2-page spread.
Yeah,
I remember laying that at your feet and being like, so like I was a cat who had just brought you a dead bird into your house. Like, please,
a beautiful treat. Enjoy
work
it.
for
Honestly,
a month on this picture.
The problem is it does work much better as a spread. You were right, and also it's shocking that you would choose that and not 50 pages of a car chase as the worst thing that's ever had to be drawn. But
hey,
I'm so happy with how it turned out.
But hey, James wants to know what the most fun vehicle to design was.
Oh, that is a good question. The way I made these fun for me was to make them as little like cars as possible and as much like big cartoony weird animals. Like I think all four of you have talked about the wacky races vibe even on the podcast. So I was definitely looking a lot of that and at things like Redline and Speed Racer and Motor City. I think the Ram Wagon is one of my favorites just because it's a cool car. It's the only one of the battle wagons that is actually approximately like a car. And then the Octo Wagon is a close follow-up because it's just so goofy.
Yeah, that's an impossible, like that was the one I thought would be the most challenging just because like make a vehicle that also houses an octopus and has a claw and has a compartment for drivers.
That we can all agree. If that was a real thing, just the fluid dynamics of that would make it impossible to drive, right?
It's
like it
comics.
would not.
It's fine.
Okay. You know, I'm looking at the hashtag real quick, and a lot of people talk about the name change of Clark to Ganesh. We did that in the first one. That's not new. We didn't change it. And that is because Clark is from the pre-written.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff from Fandelver that we the first campaign that we ran for that inspired Here There Be Gerblins was the Lost Mines of Fandelver, which is the like starter kit campaign. So for the books, we just changed most of the stuff from there. It's another one of those things that just in hindsight, like we didn't use that at all moving forward. So why not, put our own twisted South Park humor spin on it.
What Malachi asked, what's each of y'all's favorite tiny details in the book? And for me, it's when Magnus's pants fall off and Carey has done like little shiny kind of like bing around the butt. That makes me so happy for so many reasons that I can't explain right now.
Every time she draws Geralt's face, it is exactly he almost doesn't need dialogue because you can so deeply read. And horses are, as we all know, terribly unemotive creatures. You can't see their souls when you look into their eyes or anything. So getting that kind of level of emotion out of a horse shape is a real achievement in art. And I'm glad you're going to get an Oscar for that.
Carey, did you feel a lot of pressure when it came time to design Geralt? Because I feel like Geralt maybe is like right up there of like top 3 favorite. I was about to say NPCs, but it's not really, is it? Maybe it might be the favorite player character of Taz Balance.
Oh, sure. I think that was definitely one of the moments when I was very grateful we spend so much time kind of kicking all the pre-book design work back and forth amongst the 5 of us so that if I made a huge Geralt misstep, someone would correct me.
You nailed it, though. I love this Geralt. That's a Geralt I can get into.
My favorite detail is, and I think Carey has pointed it out, maybe during like the last book like press tour, like we were on an interview together and you mentioned the like increasing physical comfort that Taco, Merle, and Magnus have with each other, like the increasing like sort of like physical familiarity that they have, like becoming more of a factor in each book as it goes on. And since you said that, like it changed my experience reading Petals, because it's like you like seeing that and really, really paying attention to how it has changed from Here There Be Gerblins is like really, really incredible stuff that I would never have noticed. And unless you had said something, because I am a bad comics reader.
Oh, but I feel like that's something all of you have talked a lot about too, right? Like Clint, in past interviews, I know you've brought up that you don't want to jump too soon into the dynamic where the 3 main characters are all already friends, because that would kind of cheat them out of the experience of like getting to actually know and tolerate each other. So it has been really fun to kind of escalate that slowly over the course of each book.
Yeah, wait till book 7. They're just doing a double piggyback for the entire thing.
I'll do it.
It's a 3-person horse costume.
Yeah,
they're all.
It looks like an Animorphs cover. Just their 3 faces blended
said the magic word
together.
I'm in.
Oh no, you've activated Carey. That was her Manchurian Candidate control word. She's off.
One of my favorite things was in Rockport the fact that we wanted to do a takeoff on a toy ad like they used to have in comics, and we did it for Scuttle Buddy. My little Scuttle Buddy is one of my favorite because there have been many times where you have captured something exactly. That was the most exactly of anything that I could imagine. That was one of my favorite moments.
I have a question that I'd love to know for Carey. This is from Kat. Carey, where do you take your inspirations from when drawing the outfits for the characters? And I would love to know if there's any like tonally for this book. Obviously, like the race played into their outfits for this one, but like, what were some of like your aesthetic touchstones?
Well, that is a good question. I feel like it's been really fun to get to do new costumes, not just for the main trio, but for everybody as we go from book to book. So
it's great for toy sales too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every single one is another hugely toyetic book. This one.
Like we talked a little bit in last book about how it was very much like they're getting dressed up in this. I think Clint, you specifically wrote them going to like a theater troupe on the Bureau of Balance to pick out new costumes. So all of their looks are very like kind of overacted Shakespearean adjacent, but also some fantasy bullshit woven in just to tie the whole thing together. So this one I went back to look at, again, like Mad Max, Fury Road, and Redline, and a bunch of anime. And then Sloan and Hurley are pulling out of a lot of my favorite shoujo artists in manga, which is a lot of big dramatic sweeping moments and big flowy outfits for Hurley that look cool when she jumps around, which is important.
This is by far our most anime arc, right? I'm thinking, Suffering Game flirts with it. Suffering Game flirts with it. I had one and I've lost it. Shannon. Go ahead, Travis.
No, I just had my own question, but
let me read one from Twitter. Shannon asked.
Ask your question after.
Yeah, we can talk about that off the air. Let's ask the questions that people actually sent into us. Shannon asked, do you always sort of know which NPCs will stick around and reappear, or do they sometimes just take on a life of their own and assert their importance when you aren't expecting it? This is more of a podcast question, I guess, but like in with regards to balance, like the answer is like never did I predict like who was going to be the character that everybody maybe by the time we got to like Stolen Century, right? Like I had an inkling that people would like loop, but there was a lot of sort of taco groundwork there, so that's maybe cheating, but like I don't know, man. Like
I will say sometimes the exact opposite, where you're like, like this is going to be a major character, and then like it doesn't click. This actually works well with like what I was going to say, which is like I think one of the things I really love in this book and in the podcast, but I think getting to see the physicality and stuff really highlights how comfortable they are with with Hurley. of just like sometimes there will be an NPC that for whatever reason, and this isn't exclusive to us. Every D&D game I've ever played or seen or anything, there will be like one person where it's like, who's that guy? And it's like, I don't know, is this? And it's like, well, we all love him now, and I need you to come up with like a huge backstory for him and motivation and everything.
Meanwhile, you as the GM is like, here's this FBI agent that lives with you and is actively investigating you and could be like a huge resource. And you're like, fuck that. I want to talk to the snowboarding harp seal man. Yeah. Like that's like the story of Taz. We have time for a couple more.
By the way, my favorite thing, and this isn't even Taz related, but when we did Tiny Heist and there was the turtle, and for whatever reason that became like the most important part of the show to me.
Hey, everybody in tweets who are like, they better stop teasing me about Taz toys. I would do anything for Taz toys. Fucking find the person that makes toys. Like we
don't make toys.
We don't make toys. Fucking find it. We'll do it. If you know somebody that make a toy, have them call us. It's not hard.
It's not that we have a bunch of toys in a warehouse. That
we're not holding out on you. God.
Let's.
I do have this toy though.
Well, that's bootleg merchandise, and we have called the Better Business Bureau. That's not who you would report that to. Any other questions that y'all want?
I wanted to say real quick, just because I caught sight of it, the Flaming Raging Poisoning Sword of Doom behind me. I got it, I believe, in 2017 at the first PodCon. It's behind me now all the time, and it's one of my favorite things that I own. And it was made in part by Grant Imahara.
Who we
lost this week. And so I just wanted to say, like, if you've ever appreciated it, that was his handiwork, and it's one of my favorite things that I own. Him, it was made at his shop. It was not primarily made by him, but he helped in the making process and helped get it to me. So I just want to say thanks to
that was lost in shipping, and dude like went above and beyond.
Yeah, it literally was like buried somewhere in a UPS like shipping container on an airfield, and Grant and the woman who made it flew down and like they dug through shipping containers on an airfield to find it for me. So like it just means the world to me.
Carey, before you go, we have time for a couple more, maybe one more question, and I've seen this a couple times. Is there anything in Crystal Kingdom that you are looking forward to drawing?
I am still finishing drawing the book. That is a fair question. I feel like the last third of this book has shifted around kind of over the process of making it in ways that I'm really excited to draw and for people to get to read. And the robots have not been as hard to draw as the cars, so that's been pretty sweet.
No wheels.
Yeah.
Wheels are circles. Circles are the hardest thing to draw. That's drawing 101. Even I know that.
Yeah.
Are you thankful to past me for creating a very sort of monochromatic Adventure Zone arc with the pink tourmaline of Crystal Kingdom?
I cannot thank you enough for the gift of just make everything pink and sort the rest out in post. It has been a treat.
That was a gift. That was a gift from past me to future, current, present you. Okay, I think we're all set to hop. Oh, speaking of Garrel and Garrel's design, we are going. Carey, do you want to set this up? Do you want to set up what people are about to see?
Oh, sure. This has been such a treat. I've been only peeking at it a little bit as they've come in over the past week, but we put out some line art of Garrel from the book, slightly edited to remove a character surprise, I think. And people have been coloring in Garrel and sending it in using the TazGN Live hashtag. And we're really excited to show off some of those that y'all sent in because they are gorgeous and I adore them.
Let's see those now, and we'll come back with another live read and begin. And here it comes. The big one.
Push the button, Frank.
Justin, you start playing.
Oh, I thought our video was going to be off. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, we're still here, everyone. Just letting you know. I know that this might have seemed like we were done, but we're not done. We're still here. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey, it's Rachel Miner and Demi Adejuibe. Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for doing this. Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Look at that dog. A wonderful dog. Oh,
bye, Carey.
Wow.
It's a fantastic dog. I just want to say I love the idea of somebody seeing the hashtag on Twitter, clicking through and coming onto the stream, only to be greeted by 60 pictures of beautiful horses and not having any idea.
Honestly, do we need anything else? I think that was enough.
I hope there's somebody who was brought aboard the Adventure Zone train just by that one sort of miraculous experience.
You know what? I'm in. I don't know what this is, but that was a good horse.
And by the way, they were amazing.
They were very good horse
everybody.
colorings. Yes, thank you so much.
Dopamine straight to the brain.
Yes. So Rachel and Demi are going to help us out as we read our last little chunk of the book here. It's not the end of the book. It's close to it.
Griff, I like your song.
Oh, thank you, Justin.
Yeah,
I had to find the ancient SoundCloud file to cut an extended version of it for Justin. It took me like an hour.
Outsized.
Yeah.
You said it was originally, what did you say the file was called? You had trouble finding it.
Yeah. The original name of that song was Backroom of the Costco, which I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we are going to read the last scene of the evening. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, is the battle wagon race that we have discussed so much. I don't know who's reading the sound effects for this installment, but you have your work cut out for you, Demi.
That would be moi.
Okay.
You're welcome.
This is a very SFX heavy section of the book. So we're going to do that and then wrap things up.
Hey, look at that cool little bird. That's a cool bird.
That's a cool bird. Yeah. All right.
Cool bird.
Birds wear a mask too. That's cool.
Yeah, right? That's a cool bird. Okay. So explain to me why we had to ride inside this thing sweating our balls off.
It keeps things fair. You can't really scout out the other vehicles ahead of time. Don't worry, they'll be stopping soon and loading off the crate. BTW, Merle, that big red button?
Yes.
Don't touch it.
Why not? What is it?
That horn is the ready signal. When the second one sounds, we go. Remember, we have 15 opponents. Each team is a well-trained group of racers and merciless killers. But the only one we really have to beat is Sloane. But don't kill her. Even though, given the chance, she'll probably try to kill us.
Boy, you really know how to suck the fun out of a crate. You know that?
Vroom, 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 vroom.
The start horn will sound any second. Any last word?
Yes. Ever since my youth.
Slam, rumble, vroom, vroom.
Speed 4, attack 2. You have to be impressed with those horns. Just look at them.
Whoosh, whoosh, squish, scream.
Own it, baby, own it.
You're killing it.
Holy smoke. Mere seconds into the 35th annual Gold Cliff Classic, and already the klaxons are sounding. 5 klaxons means we're down from 16 battle wagons to 11, and I just remembered my baby, my child is asleep in the next room, as I speak in more hushed tones.
There she is. We're running 1 and 2. We've got a shot at this. Speed 3, attack 2. Attack 3. Those wings are seriously badass.
Here comes the gerbil wheel, utilizing that superior speed to make a move on the ram wagon.
Speed 5, attack 2. That is one extremely adorable wheel of death.
Look at those little guys. That's adorable. Crunch.
Taco.
I'm fine. Fine. I ducked.
Whew.
Now, time to overreact. Zap. Boom.
Ah! Whoa, Nelly, Taco's on that Hellraiser shit.
Wobble.
Vroom.
Speed 4, attack 1. What kind of a threat is a beach dolphin?
Crash. Vroom.
2 more teams go down, and what's this? It looks like Merle Highchurch is making a move. Is he going to use the adamant spanner?
Spring. Flash. Funko.
So, do you have anything you want to say to the nice dwarf who fixed your roof?
Dibs on all your stuff? Doink.
Yipe!
We have to save Merle.
I can't understand a word she's saying.
I can't either. Something about getting the fantasy wrench back, I suppose.
Crowbar times 2. They're crowbars? Rope. It's a rope. What are you doing there, buddy?
Time to save some dwarf ass. Again.
Grappling hook. It's a grappling hook, kind of.
Get me closer.
Sploosh.
Blub, 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 blub.
Vroom. Leap. Woof. Rip.
Taco, what do you see?
Oh, the usual.
Speed 2, attack 4. I look into this crystal ball and I see pain.
Oh, so good.
Translation from Drownish. Don't let this thing kill me.
A little help.
I have to do everything around here. Octo, piss off.
Diminish size. Reduces target to 1/8 of the size.
Zam.
Blue Bowl, blood blue blood.
Translation. Oh, it's so cute.
Blah.
Translation. Oh.
It's a good panel.
Whoosh. Shush. Catch. Swish. Catch. Swish.
No,
Little Octo.
No.
I'm going to have to back and then try to ram them. Okay, no pun intended. You two need to jump.
Okay, after you.
You don't seriously think you can make it, do you?
Sure, I'm surprisingly aerodynamic.
I could try and hoist you up and jump with you.
Oh, don't be silly. I'm sure I'll be fine. You go on. Leap. This'll work.
For Magnus, it's a 19. Way to go. And for Merle, it's a 1.
Damn.
I offered to hoist him.
I got this. I've been waiting for just the right opportunity to cast something.
What the fuck is that?
Technically, it's a spell called Spirit Steed, but he prefers Geralt.
Spirit Steed. Summon spiritual mount.
Skilla-clunk! Skilla-clunk! Welcome aboard, little man.
The best.
That thus ends the live reading section of the Adventure Zone Petals of the Metal graphic novel live extravaganza. Demi and Rachel, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Can you all tell us where people can find your digital presence on the internet?
Rachel?
No, it was all about you. This was the sound effects.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Rachel Miner 1 on Twitter. And randomx.org on Twitter is my passion.
I'm at Electrolemon on everything, and I have no passions.
Well, I think you do now sound effects.
I'm going to be at Police Academy 9.
And Carey, you have come back to join us because we're all going to do the, I guess, SNL like shaking hands and like clapping while the band plays the walk-off music as we finish up this stream. Everybody, thank you all so much for joining us and helping us. Thank you all for coming. Thank you to Reed Pop and the Strand for helping get this event off the ground, and to Carey and to Allie Wilgus and everybody who came on to help out with this. It means the world. Callista Brill, Morgan,
Johnny Olson,
everybody for a second.
I real quick want to say the main designer and building this was named Lauren Markland. I didn't want to short her work. She also worked on it. So that was okay.
And I think that's it. Please buy our book and
buy our book and tell everybody to buy our book.
theadventurezonecomic.com or just I guess literally wherever books are
wherever
found, probably. I think that's it. Justin wants to use the soundboard one last time, and I think that's an appropriate way for us to sign off. All right. Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.